Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I guess, depending on where you're located. My name is Tom Robbins. I'm with Kentico, and I want to welcome everyone to today's very special webinar where we're going to take a look at version 7. If you haven't been following, this is the second to last webinar that we've done around version 7, and we've been calling these our ramp-up webinars. We've covered everything from what's new in the cloud to we had a great mobile webinar the other week. All of these are currently available on DevNet. If you select the video tab, you're able to actually watch these. So we certainly look forward to having everyone attend today, and please don't forget we have one more on the fantastic new features available within Kentico EMS around things like marketing automation, which is actually happening in a couple of days, and more information is available on DevNet. So without kind of taking a lot of time away, I want to introduce Martin Hejtmanek, who is Kentico's CTO and the chief architect behind Kentico CMS 7, who's going to spend a little bit of time kind of showing us all the cool things and new things within Kentico CMS 7. So without further wasting of time, Martin, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Sure, thanks. So hello everybody. I welcome you to my webinar, and as you probably already know, version 7 has an enormous amount of features. So for today's webinar, I have chosen the main ones, the main topics that you should know about and that I believe you'll appreciate most. And of course, if you're interested in more, then we have our documents describing all the features, so you are free to look at them. What is the version 7 about? We have basically gathered a lot of feedback on not only version 6 but also on previous version. We have basically rated all of those requirements feedback by priorities, and we have chosen the main ones that we believed are the best for you to help you increase your productivity and of course give you new options that you can use while developing your websites. This basically consists of a lot of new features, lots of improved features, and also about a lot of improvements of the general UI, so it basically helps you to be more productive. I would like to start with the user experience topic because there is a lot of general things that we have covered. We have taken a lot of time in refactoring and work on those things that can make your life much easier, and I would like to start with the number of installation files. This very simple chart shows you actually the comparison between the number of total files in installation of version 6 and version 7. We have been able, without modifying much of our code, we have been able to reduce this number of files very significantly. As you can see, we have removed about 6,000 of files, which eventually means that if you need to deploy the version, your project into, let's say, Windows Azure, or if you want to, or if you install it, it's now much faster because it doesn't need to handle this 6,000 files more. It can do it much more efficiently. And let me show you how we did it. As you might read on my colleague's Dominic Pinter blog, we have some abstraction over the I/O, over the file system data access layer, and this allows us to do quite magic with those things. And one of them is we are now able to access the content of the zip files directly with our I/O providers, and we are able to basically zip some of the installation files and serve them directly from the zip files. So what we have done, we have taken all our icons, all of our UI design, and we just zip them into this images zip file. We also took all our sample website templates, and we also were able to zip them into a file and serve them from them. And several of these zip files allowed us to reduce the number of files in the installation significantly. Of course, this is not only about the installation files or the resources, it's also about the code files. That's another area that we want to focus in version 8 actually, and we plan a lot of refactoring of our code, making things general and centralized, so you can expect even less files with version 8. Another thing that we improved regarding user experience, the overall look and feel of the application, things that were asked most often by our clients at user voice and through other channels. And one of them is we now, or you are not now required to enter codename of objects. There was a lot of feedback that end users, non-technical people do not really know what codename is or how they should use it. So we now provide a way how we basically generate codename for you, and if you want, you can change it. I'll just quickly show you. So let's say I'm here in Tools. I'll go to Polls, and when I create a new poll, you can see the codename is offered as automatic for me. But I can click on it and change it, but I won't do it for now. And what I can do, I can just type in, I already created my poll, so I'll create my second poll. And I'll just type in some question. And you will see how the codename will be populated for me automatically. So I'll just save it, and you can see I got my automatic codename. If I want to edit it, I can do it very easily. I'll just click on this. It turns into text box, and I'll just call it, poll second or whatever. I'll save it, and again, once I save it, the codename text box becomes disabled. If I want to modify it further, I can modify it the same way. I believe a lot of you and a lot of our future clients will appreciate this, because there is no need to write codenames anymore, of course, unless you want to have them in some nice way and access objects from our API. Another thing that you could see is we now have nice information messages, and we have the button Save at the top. There's actually a lot of feedback that in some of our UI there is a Save button at the top. In other UIs there is OK button at the bottom. Now it's all unified. The button is on the top. It's called Save, and it's actually fixed. So if there is a scroll bar, the button stays there. Another great thing we have in version 7 is our listings are now able to remember their filters. So let's say if you are here in development, and if you want to edit something, like, I don't know, countries, and you search for USA and want to just see or edit the states, then you can go to Detail, go to States, do some modifications. But if you go back to countries, the filter stays in there, and this is very helpful in situations you need to modify more objects based on some filter, or if you just want to search for some object based on its detail, or basically you need to look through more objects at once. Of course, if you don't need the filter anymore, it's very simple to click this link and you set the filter. So these are like small improvements that I wanted to mention because they help you to be much more productive. Another thing is the user experience of the design mode and the whole designing of the website. We provide several components, functionalities that help you be more productive in this area of work, and basically give you a lot of new options of how you can develop or design your website much more efficiently. These include a website toolbar, which works similar way as a toolbar of controls in Visual Studio. This includes preview mode, as you'll see in a few moments, and this also includes a team development feature that basically consists of object locking and also of the ability to put all your objects into file system and serve them from file system, which helps you to include your objects into a source control system. So let's see. If you go to your design mode, you can see the toolbar is already there, and you can actually choose based on your screen resolution where you want a toolbar. You can put it on the top, you can put it on the bottom, right, left, basically all locations on the screen. So I'll just keep it on the right because it's my preferred location. And if I want to insert something, I can just search the web parts, I can categorize them. So let's say I want to insert some text web part, static text in here. I can just drag and drop the web part in there, type in whatever I want into properties. Oh, I don't know, just something. And it's there. We have also provided a way, a setting for each web part that you can use to basically insert the web part without actually setting the properties. Some web parts, they make sense even without setting the properties. So let's say if you take this editable text web part, it just gets inserted without bothering you with its properties. Of course, it gets inserted with its default configuration. Let me just remove those for now, so it doesn't break my website design. So this is what web part toolbar is about. Another great feature is if you are editing layout, if you are editing basically code that defines your website, and I'll show you this in Site Manager. Of course, it's available from all dialogues where you edit the code, but I think this is the best one to show you. So if you are editing like the CSS style sheet, you can hit this preview button, and you can see actually the split mode, splitted screen, where you can see both the website. So let's say if you want to modify something on products page or some CSS class that is on products page, you can go there and you can actually edit it side by side. I also mentioned theme development feature and the object locking. And as you can see, you now need to check out the objects for editing. This is based on setting. You can disable this feature if you wouldn't like it, but I recommend to keep it enabled because if there is more people working on the same thing, they could overwrite each other's code if you disable this feature. So right now, anyone can check out this particular object, this particular code. So if I'll check it out, you can see it got enabled, and I can modify it some way. So let's say if I just say the color of the text will be red, let's see what it does. I think so I should probably apply it to just anything, or maybe just to header, and I think this is, let's see, just save it. Is this? Okay, I'll just do it this way, and I hope it gets refreshed. No, not really. So am I editing the right style sheet? Let me check. Oh, there we go. So you can see it was all applied to my website, or it's applied only to this top text because this is probably styled differently somewhere in my style sheet. And you can see now I saved it, it got refreshed properly. And of course, once I'm done, I can check in the code again, or I can undo checkout if I'm not okay with it. Together with our versioning feature for these layout objects or for these code objects, the undo checkout is able to actually roll back to previous versions if I hit undo checkout. But for now, I'll just check it in, and it gets disabled again. This same feature is available in all code objects. So if I go like here to page layouts, I have the same option to preview the object, to check out the object, etc. Depending on location, I get either the page selected automatically for me, or I may select it, because sometimes the system just doesn't know exactly what to show me to show me the proper location of where this particular code is used. So I just need to select it manually in some cases. So this is about our design features that help you deliver your projects much sooner, because you don't need to switch back and forth between windows. And let's go on. Oh, maybe I should also, I mentioned that you are able to put your layouts and style sheets into file system to actually use them by source control system. And you can do it from this administration system interface. Where is the previous deployment option that was there already, and you can, for particular system objects, you can select whether the layout or code should be stored in file system or not. So you can use this for putting those objects into file system. So that's about user experience. I now want to cover the most important features, the new features that are available in version 7. Again, it's mostly sorted by, let's say, the number of votes, I would say, that were given to us that somebody wants such feature. So probably the most wanted one was the on-site editing. The on-site editing is available on just any site. You don't need to do anything special to enable it. You can just enable it or disable it with a single checkbox in settings. And it allows you to do some basic editing of content, but not only content, you can also configure web parts through it. I'll show you this on our sample corporate website, but you can just try to use it on any of our sample websites, or on your website once you upgrade to version 7. It's available for all of them. So if I go to my corporate website, and I'll just show you one thing, I'll just sign out for now. So I'm on my website and I'm not logged in. This means the system doesn't know I have the permissions to edit it, so I can either log in, and if I log in, I get this edit page button, which switches me to the on-site editing mode. Or if I sign out again and I'm not signed in, because some websites do not have to have a logon for site visitors, then we have this special URL called CMS edit. If you go there, the system puts on a logon dialog, you log in, and you are in on-site editing mode as well. So what this is about, as I said, you can edit content. You can either edit the editable regions themselves by hitting this button. So I can just put something in here, and I'll just save it and close. You can see it got changed immediately. Or I can change particular web part properties. So let's say if I would want to, let me see, I'll just put this content text into some web part container. Like, I don't know, like get in box. I hope we have styles for it. Yep, there we go. So I can very easily do it even from this on-site editing mode. It actually doesn't allow me to add web parts or remove web parts. It allows me to modify them. So basically, as some, say, basic editor, I do not break something. But it allows me to work with widgets similar as the page mode in the CMS desk. If I want to change some properties of the document, so let's say I would be on some product, and this one is actually using workflow, so it gives me some more information than just standard document. So I'll just close it, and I'll just go to, how did I actually might break my website by trying some demo for you. So I'll just go to news, for example. I'll fix it once I am in CMS Desk back. And I can actually edit particular documents from here as well. So if I would want to edit this news, I'll just go there and I get the standard form of the news. So I can just change it to whatever. I can save it and close it. And you can see the news got changed. It actually was put on the top because these news are sorted by, I think, well, not sure exactly by what, but oh, it didn't actually change the order because I edited this one. So it's on its original location, but it is changed. You can see it. And I can edit the documents from either the listing or from the detail very easily. If I want to edit some hidden document or do not browse to the document through just the website navigation, I can go to this documents view, which basically gives me a listing of those documents, and I can very easily just browse the content of the website, navigate to a particular location. Actually, I wanted to go. Here and to smartphones, to some particular phone. There are no more documents, so I'll just go to the edit view of this particular document, and if I would want to change it, I'll just hit edit in here and I get the edit dialog as well. In here you can see that it offers me some workflow options, and they are somewhat more advanced than you are used to. If you are using workflow, I will show you in a few moments how our new workflow engine works. There's another thing, you can actually edit this all content from a device like tablet or some touchscreen device. You are not limited to just display this menu on a mouse move, as I'm showing you right now. But what you can do, you can just show all of these menus by clicking this clicking this highlight button. And even for the parts that are currently hidden or empty, they do not display any content, for instance, you can just select this hidden menu and basically edit. You just close this. Let's basically edit any of the web parts, even if they do not display any content that could be shown on the website itself. If you would want to just go to do some more advanced modifications anytime, you can just switch to CMS Desk or Site Manager to do it. So that's just a brief overview of our on-site editing, and let me go further. What I want to show you now is our advanced workflow. We actually have written our workflow engine, but don't worry, it's all backwards compatible. And what we have provided is a really advanced workflow functionality where you can do all this stuff like branching, you can use conditions, you can even use automatic actions done with documents, so you can send emails or extra emails within the workflow process, or run other actions, or even custom ones that you prepare. It consists of a visual designer, This visual designer is available on a step of the workflow, and I quickly just created a very simple workflow to demonstrate you the user interface of it. So let me just go to the admin UI. I'll just switch now to Site Manager and go to workflow definitions. I created my workflow here, and it's created as an advanced workflow. Maybe before I'll show you this, I just want to note that if you have some standard workflow that you already have, you can anytime convert it to the advanced workflow, which gives you all the branching, condition, etc. functionality. So if I go here to the step for my workflow, you can see my workflow basically starts with a user choice. That's basically a branching node that is completely handled by the user, by the editor. And the editor actually chooses if he wants to publish the document directly, or if he wants to send it for approval to some of his supervisor or whatever. So this is my very simple workflow. I just apply the workflow scope on all my products in the page. And another thing I wanted to show you here, we now have much more options to define the scope of a workflow. You can actually say whether the parent document or the selected document should be included or not in the workflow, and you can even exclude the workflow on particular subsections of a section that has the workflow already defined. So let me now go to CMS desk and to my products. And you can see I'm on this product. It's currently in that user choice tab I told you about. And what I can do, if I hit approve, it actually doesn't allow me to approve it either way, because it needs me to make the choice. So I can now either select this branch to directly publish the document, or I can send it for approval. Or optionally, even from this interface, I can make a comment to this document and send it to next step with a comment. But I won't do it right here because I want to show you another cool feature, which is here in the Properties and Workflow tab. And what you see right now is our Visual Designer, which is switched to read-only mode. And in this mode, it actually shows you a visual representation of the workflow and workflow state of this particular document. So now if I just hit send for approval, I want it to go this bottom path. Then you'll see how the workflow progresses. So you can see it's sending email, it goes to my standard step. I hope you saw it, just in case you didn't, I will just send it back to my user choice. And I'll just do it once again. So send information, standard step, there we go. Of course, as for standard workflow, you can see workflow history. If in case you would want to just define your own actions for workflow, you can do it very easily. You can just define actions. And you can register them as your own class, similar way. I don't know if you ever did a scheduled task, but you simply inherit some abstract class or interface, and you can implement your own actions. Just similar as web parts, you can define the parameters so they are to be used very nicely by the user that defines the workflow. So that's about workflow. The reason why I explained it in so many details is another feature that we have, which is very similar to workflow, but meant for a different purpose. That feature is actually our new marketing automation. This marketing automation feature is not in the release candidate version, it will be in the final version, but it works very similar way as the workflow. It's basically a visual designer. It's almost the same, just only few steps are different and the available actions are different. It's basically automated process over contact. Again, I just predefined some very simple process over contexts, and I'll just quickly show you how you can run it. What's the UI, because it's very similar to what you already saw in the advanced workflow. So there's a new item here in the online marketing menu, processes. I defined my process, which consists of some steps, some actions. So in this case, I will just, when the process starts, I'll send the user some newsletter. I'll evaluate the condition where the client is interested. This is our macro engine, and if this is our rule builder, what you can do, because we got a lot of feedback on editing conditions by end users or marketers, we have provided a new way how you can edit them. That way is more and more natural way than what we had before. We now have a new rule or condition designer, where you can basically create conditions out of predefined rules, and you can also define your own rules, and each rule is backed up by a macro. So what I can do, I can just simply say whether this contact, let me see if we already have something. Yep, so if contact clicked a link in the last newsletter issue, I'll just use this rule, and I can modify some of its parameters. So in here I can just change whether he has clicked or has not clicked. Then basically the condition built in the background will evaluate this rule. I can combine those rules. So let's say I want to also check if the contact is from some particular country. So if the contact is from some of these countries, like USA or Czech Republic, then it will evaluate only for clients contacts matching that particular condition. Let me just save it for now. You can see it gets applied. So I consider client interested if he clicked my newsletter link, and if he is American or Czech. And I can do similar things wherever I edit conditions. That's another great feature that we provide for end users that help them save their time. And you can do the same if you define additional macro rules, these designer rules. But anyway, if client is interested, I'll just send email to marketer so he can contact him or she. And if the client is not interested, I'll just try another campaign, try to point the user somewhere else he may be interested. In both cases, then I'll just finish the process because I don't need to work with it anymore. I'm not sure if I have some context in here already. Let me just check. Oh, I have, because I visited the website, so it's now me, but I'll just create a new contact. And save it. And what I can do, I can simply apply a process to contact. So I'll just apply my process, and you can see the process got to the finish step. And now I actually realized I didn't do it right, because I'm checking whether he clicked the link right after I send it, so I do not give any time to that client. So I'll just include a wait step in it so I can demonstrate you how a process can wait in a particular step. So let's say I want to check if he clicked the link after 1 day, maybe. So I'll just save it, and I'll just run the process on my account or on my contact. So I'll just remove this one and start it again. Now you can see it ended up in the step wait. It's now pending contact. So it appears also in this tab pending contacts that says mainly to marketers, and they simply want to, they simply can visit or check the state of particular contacts, whether they need their attention or not. Another option, I showed you how I can start the process manually. Another option is to define automated triggers. And trigger is basically a condition or a rule under which the process starts. I can select several types of triggers. I can say that the process should start when the contact is created, when it's changed, when he performs some activity, or if he's part of particular scoring group, that he can, the process starts if some particular score is exceeded. And in addition to that, I can define a condition similar way as I did already. So let's say, again, I'll use the country condition because that's my favorite. And I'll just check whether the current contact is from some of the countries. And let's say I'll select a French one. So if the client is from France, I'll automatically run. I'll need to just enter the name of this particular trigger. So if contact is from France, this process will automatically start over the contact. There's a lot of things you may configure or you may use with the marketing automation module. So I'll just stop for now, and if you are interested anymore, just visit our other webinars, and of course you are free to try it out once version 7 is final and is out. Another thing I wanted to show you, and being in online marketing, I wanted to show you what we did about newsletter. In newsletter, the most wanted feature was A/B testing, because not only for pages may be interested which variant may be better for clients to just get to the right result that you need for your marketing, but also for a newsletter. And for a newsletter, you actually can prepare several variants of the same issue, and you can send part of it or those variants to a test group, which is some amount of your subscribers. And based on the result from those subscribers, you can actually send a reminder of. You can actually send the winner to the reminder of the subscribers. What I did here, and because we do not have much time, I won't be showing you any results, but I want to show you the configuration. So I have my issue here, and I already created two variants of it. One contains text, second variant. One contains text, hello world. And I can actually change even subject and attachments. And if I go to the send page, this is exactly what you saw on my presentation. This is the dialog where you select what should be the testing group and what should be a reminder. You can set up times for sending, so you can even evaluate whether particular variants should be sent on particular times, so you can test whether morning newsletters are more successful than evening, etc. And the system can either select the winner automatically for you, or you will select it manually when you decide which variant was better or makes more sense for you based on the results. Let me just quickly show you how you create the A/B test. It's very simple. If you are at the newsletter properties and create a new issue, so I'll just call it my issue. I'll just enter some text and save it. And the only thing I need to do now is just hit this button, create A/B test, and it automatically creates me a new variant, and I'll just enter its name. So let's say I call it variant with more this nicer text, because my text is not very nice right now. So I'll just copy it over, and I'll just change the text of this variant to some nicer text. And as I told you, you can even change the subject, so I'll save it. And if I switch back, you can see both subject and content are changing if I switch the variants. If you saw the MVT testing option for the design mode, this provides similar toolbar that allows you to add more variants. It's not only about A/B, but you can use any number of variants within your testing, or remove existing ones, or just simply edit their name. So it's about A/B testing of newsletter. Of course, if I would have some larger base of subscribers, and if I would click on links, you could see some nice statistics in there. But I think for now, is the interaction should be enough. Another thing I wanted to show you is a very quick example of the new options that you can use for mobile development, or basically to target particular devices with particular output. What we provide in version 7 are so-called device profiles. These device profiles basically group one or more devices into a single entity, and you can use this entity to provide content for that particular group of devices. We provide several features regarding this, because for various environments it makes sense to use various say forms of providing content based on whether you serve for desktop and tablet, or whether you serve for desktop, tablet, and mobile, or other devices, or even you can serve different content to different device types. Let's say you want to provide Apple-related content to iPhone owners, and you want to provide some other content to Android owners, etc. So we provide several features. The device profiles are defined here in the development section, and each device profile actually is defined as a set of devices or user agents that you can define, or you can even define additional macros. And let me just check if we already have. Yep. You can even use a rule designer. So let's say for the size of the screen of that particular device. So let's say if the size is between, well, maybe let's say 400 and 600 pixels, these device profiles will be used, and of course these all conditions must match together. So it must be iPad between 400 and 600 pixels, which actually doesn't make much sense for now, but I guess you can imagine how you can combine those things. It would probably make more sense to apply this to the general Android device. Let me just show you. The Android device basically uses macro condition to evaluate whether it's Android or not. So we have device profiles, and if you enable using device profiles in there, you can select those particular devices here in the content toolbar. And what we have here in our corporate site is several examples on mobile development. And I'll quickly show you what the output is. Another thing that we have is if you go to preview mode and if you select a particular device, you get this nice view where you can actually see the content in context of that device. You can rotate it, so you can basically verify whether the website fits the content nicely or not. And let me check. I'm now not sure for which. Oh, yeah, this is nice. So basically, we provide several options, and you can even here you can see the difference in the output. So for iPad, I have the menu on the top and products on the bottom. Basically, it makes a flow. And for default device, I have the menu on the left and products on the right. This is one of the features we have. It's called map layouts. And if you go to Site Manager and Development, then for each device profile, you can define the mapping between an original layout and the new layout that will be used for a particular device. By default, just to show the example, we convert all of the layouts to a row layout, basically layout where each zone is on top of each other. But you can change it, you can just switch any mapping for your particular device that you define. So that's one option that you can use, basically some automatic mapping if you do not require much customization. Another way is to use custom device layouts, which allows you to define a completely customized layout for a particular device. This is very useful if you want to not only position the content, but if you want to just define that some particular parts of the page should be hidden, or if you just want to provide some alternative content for the particular device. This can be done from this interface. Right now, here is defined a custom layout. It allows me to remove the custom layout for iPad. But if I'm on some regular page that doesn't have it yet, I can create the device layout for a particular device, and similar way as I create a new culture version, I can select from existing profile or existing layout, or I can use an empty one, start with empty one. What is important here to properly match the zones, or to properly place the content, the zones in each layout must match with the zone IDs, so the system knows what to put where. But anyway, I'm going into too much detail probably for now, so I'll just go further. Another example that we use, and it actually doesn't use any of our features, it's more about how you write your CSS. It's a sample of responsive design. But I can show you that on our preview as well, and you can use our preview for devices to basically verify this. And if I go here, and if I switch to another device, or maybe just rotate the device, then you can see if the device is more narrow, that I can see only 2 columns, and if I switch to more wider device, it's ended by 3 columns. This is all done by the CSS, so you probably know how these things work, so I won't go into any more detail. Another thing that we have, and actually this one option, this conditional layout option, was already available in version 6, just hidden, not official, is the ability to do this all from the code. If you look at this layout, at the layout of this particular page, or maybe this would be better, then you can see this layout consists of several areas that are encapsulated into this special control CMS device layout, and I can basically say this part of the layout should be visible for particular devices. I can do the same for other devices, so I have some content or some layout for iPad, I have some content for other devices, and then I simply have some default layout that doesn't have any devices specified. So I can do all this from the code, And if you would use SPX page templates, this is what you can use in them, in the layout of that particular placeholder if you use the mixed mode actually. And this basically works on a more general component called conditional layout. And this conditional layout works on a more general conditions and basically allows you to evaluate its visible property and group them into several groups, so you can basically hide or show particular items of the page in a group. Of course, you can preview all this in the preview mode as well for various devices. All this is customizable, so if you would want to just simply create your own device with your own presentation in the preview mode, actually the live site mode shows the same. It's probably not defined right now, so I'll just show some other content. You can do it very well for the live site mode. So that's about the mobile development options you have in the new version. I think it's very useful because there is no need anymore to create a separate content tree. You can just change how the content is presented on the same hierarchy. And I think I wanted to mention is a revision of our e-commerce module. I'll just quickly touch this because there will be a lot of time needed to go through all this. What we did is we provided products in our e-commerce the UI similar to the content section. So if I go to our e-commerce section, if I go to products, I basically get the content tree, which starts at my product section. This comes from the settings. And I can basically manage all products. So this is sort of a mixed mode between content and what you had before in the e-commerce section, a listing of the product. You may notice that you actually see in the listing all products from all subsections. That's the default setting that we added. And you can manage those products similar way as you are used to in content, but it's focused on e-commerce stuff. One great thing of this is that we basically joined the SKU product tab and the document tab into a single one with this navigation, so you can manage all product properties in here very easily. You can also notice that you can apply workflow. All these product fields now also support workflow. That's something that wasn't supported in version 6. And it also supports multilingual. So if I go here, if I add another culture to my website, let's check because I know check. And if I just refresh this UI, you can see I have also the option for multilingual selection, and I can use the side-by-side mode to edit things. I can create a new version for my Czech version of Apple iPhone. So I'll just change something, like, I don't know, just like better in Czech in here, and you can see in the split mode that the Czech version has better and there's a better type in the English version. So you probably pretty much have the same option as in content, but it's focused on products, focused on e-commerce. Of course, if you are under workflow, you can preview it or see the live site. You don't need to go to content. Another thing that we provided, or actually two things, are new reports for e-commerce. There's a lot of new reports in there, including a generator for sample data. If you want to present this module to your clients, so it generates you some sample data to the e-commerce module. It actually created me some orders, some customers, etc. And another thing that we have in there is a dashboard. Similar to online marketing, similar to My Desk, you have now have your own dashboard for e-commerce with some options that you can use on it, of course including some general purpose reports that you can choose from the e-commerce reports. So it's about e-commerce, and I have some more things, but I promise the end of this presentation will be very quick because I'm almost at the end of the new features, which are quite rich to explain. So I promise it won't take much longer. We have a new chat option, which includes actually 3 main options. One is support chat. I can basically create a chat between a site visitor and some staff person. Another option is make this automatic. So basically the website, when a person is too long on a particular page, it offers him the support chat. So it's basically initiated automatically, and if the user is interested, it notifies the support person. And for community, for the standard social networking websites, we provide all the standard chat rooms, including private chats between people. This is all connected to our online marketing as well. In online marketing, you can see the list of users who are online and initiate chat with them from the UI. So basically the marketer can initiate the chat with the person as well. Another great feature that we provide is wireframing. This is actually quite unique. I don't know about any of other CMSs that provide it out of box. As you know, our design mode and our portal engine is very flexible, so we were able to provide a whole new set of components that you can use for to create sketches of your website or your new sections, to create basically to define high-level overview of how the website should look like. And I'll just quickly show you this because I think this is one of our nicest features in the new version. Again, there is an example of some simple wireframe in our corporate website, but for now I'll just create a new page so you can see its power. So let me see, I want to create a new section. I know I want to create like a monthly report page as a wireframe. By default, the wireframe automatically uses the master page of the website, but I'm not limited by that. I can select for a wireframe which visual inheritance it will use, and I can then simply put things on the wireframe. You can see, because I'm on this special document type called wireframe, my website toolbar switched to only allow wireframe components. There's a lot of wireframe components, as you can see in here in the toolbar, and I can simply create the wireframe. So I'll just add some breadcrumbs. To my wireframe, I'll just add some, I don't know, header. Should probably have a header. And you probably don't see it, but if I go here, if I double click, I can edit all those text. I don't need to go into any dialog of the properties. I can simply edit it. So there should be a monthly report header in here, and there should be probably some reports or grids. So I'll just put in some grid. I won't be editing it for now. So I just have some sample grid, and I may just add some charts to it, etc. So this way I can very simply create my wireframe, and then some designer or developer will come and just turn this into a real page. What is great about this, I can simply, if I have more items on top of each other, I can just bring them forward and backward as you are used to in various graphic editors or wireframing tools that you can't use. I told you the developer can turn this page into a regular document. So if I go now, I can simply convert this into a regular page. I can start with just some normal layout. I start with a blank page, so I'll just create a page. It gets created at the very same place where my wireframe was. It includes the original wireframe, as you can see, but I can work with it as with a standard page without any problems. Another option I wanted to show you just quickly is you can even add wireframes to existing parts of the website. What you can do is you can use one of our special components, again in this wireframe category, which is called wireframe area, and you can basically put wireframe into standard design mode and simply they can drop items to it as well and basically define a wireframe of particular component in an existing website structure. One great thing about this is that you actually do not need to worry about making a live website because wireframe web parts are not rendered on the live site. So the live site stays the same even if you have this in there. Then just developer comes and implements this interface and then removes this particular item and it's done. Again, there's a lot about wireframing that we'll be showing, I think, in tomorrow's webinar. So I recommend you to visit it if you are anyhow interested. And I'll just go on. Another thing I wanted to mention is we have some new sets of web parts, or actually 2 single web parts and a large set of new web parts. We now support generating of the QR codes. We have support for cookie consent, you know, the cookie law thing that is out there. And we have a lot of new web parts for social networking, including the typical most used social network like Google+, Facebook, Twitter web parts, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. I hope I didn't forget any. Of course, there are not only these new web parts, but these are, I think, most interesting. We have done some improvements in the security area as well. We now provide automatic screen lock, which is a very nice feature that you can use to prevent people to basically edit something if computer owner leaves and forgets to log out. We provide more options for password policies, and we also provide double opt-in on modules. I mean double opt-in for subscriptions to things like block comments, things like message board messages, etc. There is also a great improvement, one of many, in K#, in our macro language. You can now use open conditions and loops, and it's exactly one thing that you already saw, but I'll show you again. Open condition works the same way as you are used to in SPX. You basically leave the condition open when you end the macro, then you can write HTML code, and then you just close it with another macro. You can use else. I just need to note that in this candidate you can use only if. Only in final version of version 7 you will be able to use else. So don't try it, just try it with if. And you can also use this in loops, and in both cases you can just further use macros in that markup. So if you do something like this, it will output the list of all documents that are children of particular documents. I'll show you because that's my example that I had there, and at first my root, my master page. So this actually outputs all documents in the root with that expression. If I go to some particular product, some particular page like products, I can see the subsections ended by macros. If I go to smartphones, I'll see the phones. If I go to particular phone, I don't see anything because there are no child documents. So this is very useful. It will help you out to make a code more productive. We also support dynamic forms. We allow you to put conditions for particular fields of the form, whether they are visible or enabled, or actually both. And I'll show you on a live example as well. I prepared a very simple form that I'll show in the UI, and so I think it will be best to just show you that first, and then I'll explain you how that works. So I have some form where user needs to enter his name and message, and if he is willing to provide contact information, he can check this box. If he checks this box, 2 additional fields are populated automatically, and he can fill them in. If I go to configuration, there is a more information item for the checkbox. So basically a Boolean checkbox field, and 2 fields that are somewhat dependent on it. You can set it in the advanced mode of this editor, and in this advanced mode you can see there is a marker used. So based on a value of my information, I am changing the visibility condition of that particular field, and I'm also required to say that this field depends on another field. So basically the form engine knows if something changes, this is what you should update. Same thing with the phone field, same condition, same state, it depends on another field. And the last thing I need to do is the other direction, that basically this field, this particular field, changes some other fields, so it has depending fields. And only this configuration allowed me to simply create behavior like this that form engine provides. So that's about form engine. I just wanted to quickly note our new MVC support. Of course, I don't know how many of you use MVC. I know most of our clients use Portal Engine, so I'll just quickly touch this. Previously, you weren't able to use MVC views with standard URLs, and you needed to create a URL, or a special URL for the MVC page. It basically went this top path. What we added a page template of type MVC that is actually able to display the content using an MVC controller and view for your standard URLs that you are used to, or you were used to in previous versions. So this basically makes the system much more flexible, and the example is again on our corporate site in development models and MVC. So I believe that's pretty much it, and I see I pretty much made it in time, sort of. And I want to thank you for your patience and for you visiting this webinar. You might be interested whether what we said in June is true. It is true. We are releasing the final version during our Denver conference, which will be in 2 or 3 weeks from now. And I hope you will like this version. If you want to try the release candidate, if you didn't visit this particular link, and if you want to see the full feature list, you can just look at my blog. It just gives you a brief overview of everything that is available in the release candidate. So thank you for you visiting this webinar.
Thank you, Martin. Certainly, I appreciate everyone who's joined us today, and as Martin said, we're hoping that everyone will take an opportunity and attend Kentico Connections either in Denver or in Prague. And as always, we're recording the session, and we'll hopefully have it posted up in the next day or so. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar, and I appreciate everyone, and if you have any questions, as always, please let us know. Thanks, Martin.
Sure, you're welcome.
All right, everyone, have a good day or evening.